everyone. Okay, let's just give it a moment. Thank you for joining. Okay. So it is just me tonight, most likely for the whole live. Jana has had to run to the animal hospital. A little baby owl fell out of a tree. That's okay. Here we are. Welcome. As you will have all seen, we are going to be discussing maintenance phase because you are now day 3 of maintenance, I believe. It started on Sunday. So that means that your portion sizes, I believe, will not have changed yet. Give me one moment. I'm going to open the document that I had here with everything about phase 3 maintenance because I wanted to go through the rundown just so everybody, we can discuss together when all of your portion sizes will change, because the first couple of days of phase 3 remain basically the same as phase 2, and then your portion sizes will begin to increase. And then next week, you'll start adding in some extra portions of healthy fats. So day 3 and 4, your vegetable intake increased today. So 135 grams of vegetables twice daily. And then as of day 5, so not tomorrow, but the next day, it'll increase a little bit again, and so will your protein. And then as of next week, you will start to add in olive oil or butter, nuts, and then unsweetened yogurt and avocado by the end of next week. So all very exciting things coming up. And I actually have a recipe. I was planning on sharing it on Friday, but it might be next week. We'll see how we go looking at what your portions are, with our protein powder to make some maintenance approved protein balls. So that will be something to look forward to as well. Excuse this silly big fly we have in here. So anyone joining us tonight who's on here live at the moment, feel free to just drop me a comment, a little wave, let me know you're watching. This live really have a few notes to go through about maintenance phase, just to kind of, clarify how things work, what to expect, a few tips. But if anybody has any questions at any time, please do pop them in. I am obviously on my own tonight, so I'll be doing my best to check them regularly, but I will get back to them at least, throughout the live. And worst case, if anybody's got any questions later, I'll come back to it a little bit later. I'm just noticing I went to the osteo before and I had dry needling done on my Achilles, on my ankles and calves. And I have this big line. Beautiful. All right. So as I said, today's day 3 of maintenance. So your portion sizes have just begun increasing as of today, and they will continue to slowly increase throughout these entire 3 weeks. And then, like I said, as of next week, we'll start adding in some healthy fats. So what's involved in maintenance? I'm sure you've all read by now, if you've read through your complete guides, that this phase is essential for locking in results. You cannot skip this step. It's very, very important. Don't let the name maintenance make it sound like it's optional. It's very, very much an essential part of the entire process. It lasts for 3 weeks, as you will have seen, and it's somewhat based on the principle of reverse dieting, along with the same principles of detox in general. So basically, we're slowly increasing the portion sizes, reintroducing healthy fats to help rebalance the body's hormones and metabolism. On that note, I think a place that I'd really like to start, that we do get some questions about occasionally, is why don't we consume healthy fats during phase 2 if they are healthy? And if you guys will have noticed throughout phase 2, it is low fat by design. So phase 2 doesn't really include any additional fat sources. There are little bits here and there. And although healthy fats are incredibly beneficial to the body, a period of low fat eating has been shown to assist the detoxification process. Because in order for dietary fats to be sufficiently digested, even if they are healthy rather than unhealthy, the liver has to work to produce and release bile. And a lot of you will know that while you're detoxing, it's your liver that's working really, really hard to process those held toxins, inflammatory products, even hormones. The liver is responsible for processing and releasing a lot of our excess hormones. So if our liver is doing extra work to break down dietary fats, even if they are healthy fats, it's going to have a lot less energy to spend on the entire detoxification process that this SBN detox that you're doing at the moment is focusing on. So by avoiding fats during the phase 2, where the majority of the focus is on that detoxification and fat burning, we're able to reduce the liver's workload and therefore promote a much more healthy and balanced toxin release. Okay, and then we obviously reintroduce healthy fats during phase 3 maintenance, and that is because during maintenance, like I just said, the goal is much less focused on detoxification and fat burning. Most people will still continue to lose a little bit of weight, but do make sure that you shift your mindset a little bit, that the key focus is not weight loss. The key focus is not the fat burning. Yes, it may be a byproduct because you're still following a very similar process. You're still taking your detox drops or patches. You're still eating very, very nourishing foods. But if you do not continue to lose any weight during maintenance, that's also still a big win because you still will have been focusing on successfully rebalancing your body, rather than, you've already done all the hard work with the detoxification and the fat burning. So another kind of big bonus of adding in dietary fats, so they are, first of all, incredibly nutrient dense. They contain a lot of minerals. Now, the really great thing about dietary fats is that they help our body absorb some fat-soluble vitamins, so vitamins A, D, E, and K. And they can also help us to feel fuller for longer. So they act kind of in a similar way to what protein and fiber can do within the gut. Helps to slow down the rate that we absorb glucose and therefore promotes longer lasting energy, helps to balance out our hunger hormones as well. Healthy fats can also be used as a secondary fuel source, so they can reduce glucose uptake and regulate energy, and like I said, hunger and cravings as well. So another kind of area that I wanted to... Okay, I've just seen a question come through. Can you drink more than 50 mils of milk on maintenance? No, the milk portion does remain the same. I think 50 mils of milk in your long-term diet, it really depends on so many other factors, but for maintenance, it is the exact same, 50 mils. Okay, I also really wanted to touch on how our maintenance drops and patches work. So the drops contain a blend of African mango seed, gymnema, chromium, and amino acids. They do contain some of the same ingredients as your detox drops. So they will continue to promote fat burning, detoxification channels, and balancing out your hunger and cravings. So like I said, even though, the main goal isn't on detoxification and fat burning, those processes are still occurring. You're still eating from the same approved foods list. Your portion sizes are only increasing incrementally, and you are still taking your detox drops or patches that contain those targeted actions and ingredients. And then on top of that, you have these other herbal medicines and homeopathics that are added in there just to help rebalance the body's metabolism, get the body burning a little bit more so that it can process the extra food intake that you're taking without storing it as fat. So that's what a lot of these added ingredients are doing in there. It's telling your body, yes, we're eating more on purpose. This is why we're going to be using it as energy, basically. So they work to lock in weight loss, promote satiety as well, and allow you to continue burning fat long after the detox phase is complete. So like I just said, it's really, the ingredients in there are designed to tell your body, like, we've passed this phase now, we're into the next phase. And it's okay that there is more food incoming because we're actually going to use that food really well. Some of the ingredients in there actually can help with digestion as well. So basically, if you're eating a little bit more, your body's going to need a lot more digestive secretions and capabilities. So some of the ingredients within the drops and patches really help with that too, so that, the body isn't a couple of steps behind because the food intake is slightly higher. Also helps to boost metabolism and promote healthy energy balance, maintains healthy blood glucose levels, increases satiety and quells cravings, promotes energy and stamina. So we'll just chat through a couple of the key ingredients that have been added in on top. So green tea is really well researched for increasing metabolism. So like I said, this is one of those ingredients that we added in on top. So an extra ingredient that's put into your maintenance drops. That boosted metabolism obviously is really important while we are slowly increasing your food intake. And on that note, if we're thinking about what all these actions are doing, if anyone was to skip maintenance, we can already start to understand how things may not necessarily unravel, but how you can make it so much harder for yourself in the long term to, continue on, or to continue to feel the benefits of all this hard work and all these really important and positive changes that you've made, because you're not having all of these added benefits of your body, slowly increasing metabolism and being able to cope with a larger volume and different variety of food. So green tea is also really well researched for supporting weight loss, treating metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes, reducing cardiovascular risk factors, and this is all likely through the work of some really potent antioxidant catechins that are contained within green tea. So chromium is another ingredient that's added into your detox drops. It has been shown to enhance weight loss, specifically by reducing food intake. So chromium is one of those ones that is really good for balancing out blood glucose and therefore your hunger and cravings. This is one actually that can be really good to take kind of long term. If, you do finish your detox, you've moved on to kind of your post-maintenance eating, and maybe you're finding it a little bit harder without the support of the detox products, I think chromium can be really, really great. It's actually a mineral, but a really great one to continue to take because it can help to balance out those blood glucose levels a lot more, specifically via the GLUT4 transportation into the cell. So basically it means that if there's extra blood glucose floating around in your blood, there's this little transporter on the edge of the cells that can grab it up and pull it in. And that has so many health benefits. A lot of people will know a lot of the side effects of things like diabetes are because the glucose hangs around in our blood for too long. So a supplement like chromium, and I mean, if people are eating a balanced diet, there are so many other factors, exercise, proper sleep, that can help balance out our blood glucose, but chromium is definitely a great extra support during maintenance and then also post-maintenance. Two other ones that I just wanted to mention that are added into our maintenance drops and patches, African mango seeds and raspberry ketones. So they both work in a really similar way to promote weight loss, speed up metabolism, reduce hunger and cravings, and improve your metabolic parameters. So similar things to like I just mentioned about blood glucose and cardiovascular health. And then gymnema. Gymnema is one of my favorites. It is a herbal medicine that helps to balance out hunger and cravings. It's got really, really great metabolic benefits as well. But another thing that it does that's so fascinating is that it blocks the sweet taste receptors within the mouth. So that can help to reduce excess food intake. But on top of that, it also balances out blood glucose. I specifically remember when I was studying, we got to taste gymnema as like a herbal tincture, And then the lecturer brought in like Smarties or something, and we all got to eat them. And it was so odd. The taste was completely bland. You couldn't taste any of the sweetness. So if anybody does have a really big sweet tooth, and you think that might be something that would be really good for you in the long term, you can find gymnema as a herbal medicine on its own in health food stores or probably even online. I don't think you'll find it at the supermarket, but I would definitely, it's harder to get as a tincture unless you go through a naturopath, but as a tea, it can do a really similar thing as well. Okay, again, if anybody's got any questions, please feel free to pop them in, because I am getting towards the end of the things that I wanted to talk about. It's always a little bit easier to engage, I guess, when I have Jana here with me. So yeah, if you do have questions, if there's anything that you want to know about maintenance, please feel free to pop it in the comments there. Otherwise, I will keep going, because I did want to talk about some tips to succeed during maintenance. I did touch on this before, but if we're thinking about the process of maintenance, we are slowly eating more and more food. And it's interesting, some people have completely different experiences on detox. Sometimes I get emails from people saying, I'm so hungry. What can I do? How can I eat more food? How can I be less hungry? And if that's you, we do have a blog all about it. So make sure you check out the blog section on our website. But some people struggle with the food intake. And then maintenance obviously is a whole nother process, because the food intake increases a little bit more. So anytime that we're eating more food or even different food, it does mean that our bodies have to work a little bit harder to break it down. That doesn't necessarily have to be a challenge at all. Often if we're just chewing more, and this is what saliva does, chewing or mastication produces more saliva, which then tells our stomach to release stomach acids, and then that tells our pancreas to release a lot of our digestive enzymes, and then our liver to release bile. So purely by eating more, you're chewing more, you're telling your body to digest more. So it can happen naturally. But for some people, in particular, as we get older, our levels of hydrochloric acid drop. If you do find that you're either not hungry, or you're still feeling a bit full, or maybe you're feeling a bit sluggish, make sure that you are supporting your digestive function as much as you possibly can to deal with, or to better cope with, this increased food intake. Another very, very important thing to always remember when we're talking about digestion is that your food must first be digested before the nutrients can be absorbed. So if you do feel a bit sluggish, if maybe your bowel motions have changed, if you're gassy or bloated, burping, whatever it may be, those are all pretty common signs that something isn't quite going right, or maybe your digestive secretions do need a little bit more support. Because anytime that's happening, you're not digesting properly, and therefore your body isn't able to absorb all the nutrients that you need from your food. So digestion is really, really important, not just because it's uncomfortable, but because it is essential so that we can gain all of those nutrients that we need for our energy and for healthy hair and skin and sleep, healthy moods, everything. So a couple of ways to support your digestive function. One, as I just touched on, is chewing. So make sure you chew your food as much as possible. I know it sounds a little bit uncomfortable, but you really do want to chew until it's basically a liquid. And like I said, that's going to help stimulate the rest of your digestive secretions. And obviously, I mean, it does that, but another really big benefit is that then there's less work for all the other systems to do to digest that food. If you think about eating an apple, if you had like a whole chunk of apple just sitting in your stomach, that's going to take so much work to break down before it can move into the next part of your digestive process. Whereas if you have chewed that apple until it looks like a puree, or it looks like, something that's been stewed almost, if we're comparing what it would look like outside the body, it's going to be so much easier for your body to digest, absorb, and then move it through your system. Another thing you can do to support your digestive function is a calorie kicker. So you will find this in your detox guide, or really anything alike. So you'll know that you're able to drink lemon juice and apple cider vinegar during detox. These are both really good for helping to stimulate digestive secretions. So a teaspoon, tablespoon, start small. You can go up to about 2 tablespoons, mix into a glass of water before a meal. Especially lemon juice is really good for the liver. So while we're eating more fats during maintenance, and the liver is working a little bit harder, lemon juice before a meal can be really, really good. If you are on drops, it's still really important to keep it 20 minutes away from your drops. So you could take lemon juice, 20 minutes later, take your drops, 20 minutes later, eat your food. So technically, you'd be having the lemon about 40 minutes before a meal. And then my last really great tip is our T1. So our T1, I always forget which one's which. Liver detox. Our T1 liver detox has some herbal ingredients in there that are really specific for similar actions that I've just been speaking about. So stimulating some of those digestive secretions before your meals. And you do this in the same way that I just mentioned about how to time your lemon juice. So you'd have it 40 minutes technically before a meal if you are on drops. If you're on patches, you can have it anywhere from 40 to 20 minutes before a meal. Anyway, it's fine. Another tip that I have to succeed during maintenance is to check your guide almost every day, because you will see that portion sizes do increase every day or every second day. So make sure you're sticking on top of it, because you really don't want to miss an increase and then, have an extra large increase the next day or feel a step behind. So make sure, and also this food is important and you get to enjoy it. So you don't want to be cutting yourself short of, some extra protein or veg or whatever it may be. So make sure you're keeping on top of it, check it every day, and adjust your portion sizes as needed for every single day. And then my last tip to succeed during maintenance is to eat a high volume. So this will be more relevant to some people than others. Like I said, some people find that it's difficult to eat the food portions. Mostly we would say that people are looking for more food. So always remember that you do have your unlimited food. So your lettuce, cucumber, onion, pickles. If you're looking for more clarification, do go to your guide. It's all under the spices, herbs, and other section. But sometimes as we eat more, and I'm sure you guys have all experienced this before, it can stimulate hunger within us. It can help. It's a good sign in many ways because it shows that it's balancing out those hormones again. So if you find that you are starting to feel a little bit more hungry than maintenance, feel confident in that. Take that as a positive, because it does mean that your hormones are starting to balance in a really good way. If your hunger hormones are going up during maintenance, it's probably a good sign that your metabolic hormones are going up as well. Your hormones that are able to digest and process your food. So if you do find yourself getting a little bit more hungry, always remember that you can lean on those unlimited foods. Another recipe reel that I just filmed the other day, but I haven't released yet because we had a few other things that we wanted to put out on Instagram, is an unlimited salad. So I can tell you all what it is now. It's very, very herby. You can really do what you want with it, but it's basically as much cucumber as you want, chopped up. I put spring onion in there. I didn't even put lettuce in there actually, but you could add lettuce in. I just dressed it with a little bit of lemon juice and then salt and pepper. And my mum, I'm staying with family down in Ocean Grove at the moment in Victoria. My mum has this massive pot of coriander and a parsley. So I just chopped up a heap of fresh coriander and parsley, put some garlic in there. It was delicious. And I was getting really snacky when I ate it, and it honestly really hit the spot. So things like that, you can either add it as a side salad to make a meal look way bigger and feel way bigger and feel way more exciting. You could eat it as a snack at any time. Really, it is unlimited, so use it to your advantage. And then my last note is about what to do beyond maintenance. So we will release a little bit more information about this in the next week or two. But it's a question that we often get as people get towards the end of their maintenance phase. They've enjoyed the kind of increase in variety and volume of their food during this phase, and they've experienced, great results during their detox. They're feeling really good. They don't want to lose it, and they want to know what they can do. So if you're in that boat and you want to know what you can do, we do have bits of information that we've put kind of in comments on our private Facebook group. So you can have a look through there. They are quite broad because when it comes to post-maintenance or post-detox, there are so many variables. When it comes to your detox, we know that for most people, we can give you, a very specific portion size, a very specific food intake for, 6, 8, however many weeks you end up being on detox for. And that has so many health benefits, not just for, promoting rapid and lasting weight loss, but also for, removing toxins, helping to balance out a lot of those metabolic and cardiovascular measurements. That is for a restricted or kind of a controlled period of time. When we're talking about beyond that, it's not a controlled period of time. So it's very, very individual. So if people are looking for something that is personalized, I definitely recommend booking an appointment with your local nutritionist or naturopath or dietitian or, whoever you may know, or maybe someone that you have been recommended that you've heard is really good, because that's going to be the best way moving forward to get something that's personalized to you. If you're looking for something that maybe you can personalize yourself, maybe you are looking for some more information about roughly what you should be eating, a few calculations of how to figure it out, and then some really good information about lifestyle, movement, to support a healthy long-term, health in general, health and wellness. Our post-detox blueprint is a really, really great resource. So we wanted to make something that doesn't just talk about food, because food is only one aspect of a healthy life. If anybody also did our pre-detox course, then you will have seen the pillars of detoxification health that we speak about in there. Post-detox doesn't go into all those same pillars because we have covered it in pre-detox. Post-detox focuses really on food, movement, and then general lifestyle. But in all of those sections, you will get very, very tangible tips in food. Like I said, we can't tell everyone exactly what to be eating. It will be more than what you're eating in maintenance, and it will be a little bit different, but there are some calculations that you can do in there to try to figure out what's going to be best for you. And then the last thing that I recommend for post-maintenance are our recipe packs. So on our website, we have one detox and fat burning recipe book, and it says on there detox and fat burning, so you'll know exactly which one that is. That's all phase 2 approved meals. But the other recipe packs, they are general healthy recipes. You can make it anytime when you're not on detox. You can share with the family. It's a really, really great resource. We have 3 different ones. There's this is good to test me, a high protein, a low gluten, and a vegetarian. All really delicious, nourishing, anybody can make them. And that's a really, really great resource post-maintenance when you want the confidence that what you're going to be eating is healthy and still yummy. These recipe packs are really perfect for that. Okay. That is the end of what I wanted to get through. So, like I said, if anybody has any questions, please do comment here. If you're watching me live now, you can just comment in the box there. Otherwise, for anybody watching back later, you can still comment on the post on our Facebook group, and I will be sure to jump back in and we'll be answering all of your questions. But otherwise, for now, thank you so much for joining. You can comment your questions at any time, or you can just email or call us and we'll be able to help you out. Okay, all the best with your maintenance phase challenge, ladies. You're all doing so well, and I'm loving everyone's recipes in the group. I'm such a foodie, and most of our recipe reels, almost all of them, are me. So I do love to be inspired by what everyone else is doing. So keep that up and keep up the momentum. And yeah, we're here to support you if you need it. Okay, have a nice night.